Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Taking on Sports podcast. As always, is a podcast made by the fans for the fans. We're here from you guys, the fans. Catch us on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Podcasts. Let's get the boys in. We got Seth not in a hospital bed, and we got Barrett in a hospital bed.
Hey.
Yeah.
We got the flu game going on. We're gonna call it the flu pod this week.
Got my cheetah sunglasses.
Barrett's always got something going on.
Styling, dude.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just in case, Barrett did, for some odd reason, just catch it
live
live
off
on
the
the
phone.
Yeah,
We'll pump him off the pod real quick if it goes down. But hopefully he doesn't. That'd be wicked. I look pale as a motherfucker. There we go. All right. We're going to start off with we got somebody joining us. Waiting on him to click on the link to get in here. He's reading the messages. But we're going to start off with the Dan Snyder bullshit that's going on. Dan Snyder is partnered up with Bank of America to prepare, in quotations, prepare to sell the Commanders allegedly. Now, it's also alleged that he's going to sell up to X amount of shares, pocket a couple billion, and that way he's still majority owner, and he'll have a minority owner as well. So do you think Dan Snyder was forced into doing this, or do you think he's finally just like, you know what? Fuck it. I hate being around you guys too. I'm just going to sell the team.
Probably a little bit of both. He's probably getting sick and tired of it, but eventually the owners can, overrule him to make him sell the team against his will. So I think this is kind of his compromise of saying, if I get out from underneath most of it right now, I can get what I want, and I can also still run the team operations.
Barrett, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he just hey, read the room, guys. I mean, he just finally saw it. He said he wasn't going to change the team name, and he did. And now, there's so much stuff against him. Allegations of the stadium stinks. No bigger area was going to take his. Was going to. No bigger area that has the enough space for a stadium. They probably weren't going to take a stadium, with Dan Snyder being the owner. So, this is a good thing. It's valued pretty high, like $5 billion or something like that.
Washington Commanders, let's take a gander. Value, according to Forbes, is $5.6 billion.
Isn't that more than Denver?
No, that was $1 billion more than Denver.
Dang.
Which the Commanders been around a long time. You're talking two different name changes already. They're kind of getting wild over there.
Well,
there he is. All right, we're gonna bring Brent in.
There he is.
We're talking about Brent's local Commanders fan, unfortunately. So we gotta get his input on this. Dan Snyder pairs up with Bank of America to potentially sell the team or sell an alleged X amount of shares, which would probably be like 30%, right? That way he's still majority owner. You think Dan Snyder's finally being forced into this by owners like Jim Irsay and Jerry Jones to sell the team?
I don't know. That's a good question. That was my thought too. First off, it's a pleasure to join you guys. With some technical difficulties to get in. I know Barrett's. I like those shades, man. Really channeling Macho Man Randy Savage. Is that what you're going for there, the Macho Man?
No,
that's the cheetah sunglasses, dude. Soul Runner. That's Tyreek's brand. Dude. Took like 4 weeks to get here, but they got here on a week of a win. So it feels good to wear them,
Yeah, no, that looks good. Saints hat there. Okay, all right, man, I see. I'm just getting the lay of the land here. Now I'm logging in. All right, so is he forced into it? Knowing Dan Snyder, probably not. He probably does have enough dirt on these owners to he's just that type. I think he's been planning this exit for a while. But I
Really?
think the congressional stuff, like the fact that he's in DC, and then all of the like Judanch is coming down on him and trying to like give him read him the riot act and then all the financial stuff. I think he's just feeling the pressure where he might actually get in trouble. Therefore, I think he might opt out, and the cost of a franchise these days would be insane. What do you think they're going to sell for? Like $4 billion, $5 billion?
It's allegedly going for 5.6 billion right now. They'll probably sell for about like 4.8, but it's like that's pretty way. You imagine the dude's 57 years old, and you just stumble your way into a franchise, an NFL team, right?
Yeah.
And then you sell it 30 years later, or 20 something years later for $6 or $5 billion.
Right, yeah, and universally hated by all the individuals that follow the team and his employees. I'm sure. I don't think anybody really likes the guy. Like, who actually likes Dan Snyder has a.
Gene Mercer is coming for him pretty hard, I guess.
Well, and he's losing allies apparently, like Jerry Jones, and I mean, just coming out and saying, "Hey, I got dirt on all y'all." But like, okay, like you're powerful, you got billions, but when you say you got dirt on other billionaires, that dude, they're gonna find a way to take you down. And yeah, I think he was just feeling the heat, man. Like he's just. I mean,
if I had to guess on the dirt, it'd probably just be a bunch of racist stuff because they are a bunch of old whites. So I would imagine it would have to be in terms of racial hirings and racial player slurs and stuff like that. I don't really picture Jerry Jones back in the 90s when he bought the team being a whole lot of player friendly. And same with a lot of these other owners, right? Because they grew up in a different era than the way we're growing up now. Where Dan Schneider is 20 years younger than those guys. He could just be like, "Hey, you guys were racist as fuck coming up." It's like, I can get you. That's where I think. I think it's all about racism.
Yeah, I mean, and you think about which owners have gotten in trouble, right? First off, it's hilarious that Jim Irsay is the one leading the charge. I mean, talk about an absolute train wreck of an individual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Historically, like all the things he's been in the news for, and then the one other owner to get in significant trouble was like Robert Kraft, right? So that didn't really rub and tug situation for him. I wouldn't be surprised if that. I would say that is probably like the.
Whoa. Hey, you're forgetting another owner.
You're getting an owner that gets suspended 6 games.
Yeah. Stephen Ross.
They lost the first round pick.
Miami
owner.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. I do think it's a Go Boys Club, but I think you guys are right that the amount of various crap that wouldn't fly in today's society is probably stacked up greatly in 2 decades.
Let me ask you this, Brent. I know you're not, well in tune with the Twitterverse, but
sure.
Good old RG3, ex commander, he tweeted out. He said, "Hey, I'm willing to buy in to new ownership, and he's going to bring 10 fans along for free. You need to get on that. You need to get in those DMs."
10 fans? How can Robert Griffin afford? I mean, we're talking about like Elon Musk.
That dude only made a rookie contract.
No, he got chewed up, right? He got chewed up because his net worth, I guess someone posted it, is 13 mil, and someone said, "Well, you're going to buy 0.2% of the."
That's his rookie contract. That is all the money he's made, and his money as a backup.
RG3 is awesome, though. It's not him.
He actually is. Honestly, I think we were talking about before. As far as analysts go, actually pretty with it. He's not horrible.
Yeah.
So.
I agree with Billy. That Snyder's only doing this to take the heat off, right? Like, there's no other reason. He was trying to make the other owners back down from doing it. They're going to do it to a vote. Irsay's all over his ass about it. So now Snyder says, "Okay, I'll sell." Did it even say how much the team he's going to sell yet, or is it
No,
He's
he hasn't
just
said.
partnered with the bank.
He just
He's
paired
just
with the
partnered.
bank.
Okay.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting. That's like the other big topic. Is he going to sell it all? Is he going to sell some of it? How much does he sell?
Yeah,
It's, it's allegedly 30%.
Yeah, control, right? Doesn't he have to sell control of the company?
Well, it's either he'll either sell 30% so he maintains majority, or he'll just wipe his hands of it and collect the five bill.
Yeah.
I don't see him.
I didn't know he owned
Yeah,
it.
he owns full control of the franchise. It's him
Yeah,
and his
he's
wife.
full time. Yeah, dude.
That's what a piece of
Yeah.
shit.
Or a lot of these other owners, like there's a handful of owners like Irsay and Jerry Jones that don't have their franchises split. But if you go like to the Walton family, they split it with another successful billionaire family, and there's a couple other. I think the Jaguars franchise, he owns full majority of that franchise. Stephen Ross owns.
But you have a lot of celebrity owners too with Miami that own percentages. But yeah, Stephen Ross is the main guy, which not a lot of we don't like Stephen Ross.
Here's my question. Here's my question, you guys. In the event that like some billionaire, which it would be like some billionaire comes in and purchases the franchise, and gets total control, do you think they would change the name?
Bezos. Yes. The Commanders is not well liked. Yeah. It's not well received among the fan base or the league.
It depends. Okay, to me it depends. If someone like a Bezos or Musk buys it, they would actually reach out and maybe do some kind, but I don't think so. I don't think they change
Elon
it.
would do a Twitter poll to see what the name should be.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
See,
I'll keep my fingers crossed.
When a new owner comes in, is like part of the deal going to be the land that was purchased and possibly even like the stadium that they plan on building, right? Because they still plan on building that stadium, the new one.
Well, he doesn't own the stadium, does he? He just owns the team.
I think they did buy that property. He'll turn it into like a giant parking lot, probably. There's some way he'll be petty about it. You know what I mean? He'll turn it into like high income housing across from low income housing or something. I don't know. Whatever the worst thing he can do.
Dan Snyder doesn't strike me as the guy to build low income housing.
No, he'll build high income housing.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah.
So then low income housing has to like look up at him. I think.
If I was the owner, I'd be wanting that plot of land as well included. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I probably would be pushing for the plot of land too. All right, we're gonna shift focus from dirtbag, scumbag, old white owners here, and move on to the actual team of the Commanders. They're currently sitting 4-4, bottom of the NFC East. Trade deadline has came and gone, and they didn't make a move. Were you surprised by them not making a move after being 4-4?
Kind of, and only because I don't think they would make a move to be buyers. I thought they would make a move to be sellers.
No, they did. They traded their cornerback to the Steelers.
Oh yeah, William Jackson III. That's right.
William Jackson.
Yeah,
but he signed that 4-year, $40 million deal, and then
he was going to get cut anyway.
He was getting cut anyway.
I guess I should say that they weren't more sellers because they don't have a. I mean, you look at the NFC East, like the Vikings went all in or got that tight end, but you look at their standings in the in the NFC North, and I think they had every reason to be buyers, being that many.
And they lost their original starting tight end, Irv Smith, the day they traded for TJ.
But you guys are on a roll with Heineke. Didn't want to get him another weapon or anything, you know?
Yeah, that's another situation we got to talk about. At this point in the Commanders' offense, are you going Taylor Heineke or are you going Carson Wentz when he comes back healthy?
Very nice to answer this question. The short answer is Taylor Heineke. He's obviously gives them the best chance and the most chance to be exciting. Is he like the long-term answer? The only reason he's not the long-term answer is because he doesn't have the measurables and he's inconsistent. If he had one of the two things, right? If he was consistent but he looks like he looks, he'd be an unathletic Russell. If he had better measurables but was inconsistent still, then you'd call him Brett Favre. but he's like inconsistent and he doesn't have the measurables. So like the two,
Right.
together, just he's never going to get a fair shot. And he's a quarterback with no investment, right? So he's never going to get a shot to be able to own be the owner, the franchise quarterback for the team, right? So short term, he's the best guy for now, but long, I think he won't be there. But I think we know who Carson Wentz is at this point. He's had every opportunity in every different manner that you could have that happen as far as coaches are concerned. And different franchises, and he's been given every benefit of the doubt, and he's failed at all of them in spectacular fashion, really, most recently.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead.
let me ask you this real quick.
No, it's something.
Are you kind of upset? Were you expecting a tanking season, or now they're 4-4? They've won like 2 or 3 in a row. Are you upset about that, or
am I upset that they're not doing worse? Yeah, for sure. I think to draw this out and finish 9-8 and just miss the playoffs, it's going to be a kick. Isn't the next draft a bunch of quarterbacks? Isn't it a good quarterback draft coming up?
This is a loaded QB draft. Minus CJ Stroud. We're not going to count him because it's going to be a bust. But moving on, there's a handful of good quarterbacks that are potentially going to go in the first round. Like we could see anywhere from 4. There's guaranteed 4 that are going to be going in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And then next year, we'll see about 4 as well in the first round. So,
what's wrong with CJ Stroud, dude?
I mean, we've seen it already. We're watching it play. We're watching CJ Stroud. We're watching CJ Stroud play out in Chicago right now. We already seen it happen at Washington. We've seen it happen at the Raiders. And the only example that could have been positive was Braxton Miller staying quarterback for Ohio State and getting drafted as a quarterback.
Trust me,
the only positive outcome that they would ever have.
Brent shares the same sentiments about big school quarterbacks, especially Ohio State.
Yeah, who's been good out of Ohio State? Who have we had that's been good? Like really, honestly,
nobody.
No.
Wide receivers, running backs.
Since week 3, Justin Fields has he's the quarterback number 2 in fantasy.
That's right. What I tell you, fantasy sleeper beginning of the season. That's my fantasy.
I was gonna bring that up, Yeah. But okay, real quick, I guess. Would you want them to draft a quarterback this year? With Wentz getting Wentz the trade, giving away the draft pick, you got Sam Howell waiting in the wings. Got a little ODU sitting there. Do you take a first round quarterback if you're the Commanders? If you're between like 10 and 20,
yeah, you still want
him to. Okay.
Until you get one, you take one every single year until you get one. Every first round pick goes to a certain quarterback to get one, and it doesn't. There's no reason to do it otherwise. I mean, I guess draft value being going to play if there's none graded in the first round where you're picking or they're already gone and you can get them in the second, then you get that second round quarterback. But until you get that position sorted, I think it's been that you can't win in the NFL without getting that position on lock. None of the other ones really matter. And you look at like when I think we talked about it last time we were on the podcast. When did Herbert go? 6, 7?
6.
Yep.
6?
Right after that bad man down in Miami.
Yeah. When did Josh Allen go? Was
10.
Like 9?
10.
No.
Yeah. No, Josh Allen went. Patrick Mahomes went 10.
Yeah.
Patrick went 10.
Josh Allen went after Rosen, didn't he?
That's a good.
I thought Josh Allen.
You got
8
me.
or 9.
You got me.
Well, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah. 7, 8, or 9.
Because it was Darnold.
So Josh Allen went 7.
7, okay. And Lamar
Rosen went 10.
Lamar Jack late first, right?
30.
32.
32.
You just taking them, man. You just keep taking them. They're all over the draft. It's anywhere from 1 to 30. You just keep taking bites of the apple until you get that guy. But the Carson Wentz, man, I just don't really know what they were thinking about. surrendering that much capital for a team that's that hungry to move off them. I have a question for you, Seth. Did you see Daniel Jones' situation coming this year? We all obviously did not see Geno Smith coming. That would have been ridiculous. But Daniel Jones, did you think Daniel Jones could do what he's doing right now in Giants as a game manager?
I'm a Cowboys fan, so
Yeah.
I got to watch the Cowboys playing twice a year. No, I still think Daniel Jones is a little bit of a fraud.
Okay.
I think the team is rallying. They're playing good football, but I think this is their cliff right here. I mean, they lost to the Seahawks right this last week. Barkley was he's amazing. Let's just say how it is. He's amazing coming back this season. I think every piece was fitting together, but I think it's going to start to crumble on Daniel Jones. I do not think he's the starting quarterback for the Giants next year, regardless of what the record is.
Yeah,
Really?
regardless of record, he will not be the starting quarterback next year.
Yeah. Daniel Jones will be the
Really?
starting quarterback of the Washington Commanders.
Hey, look, it's something to work on. I think if the Giants go 10-7, let's just say they go 10-7, you're going to look back and you're going to say the defense did its job. I got my young pieces over there. I got my franchise running back. The O-line looks better. I do need to improve a wide receiver, but what's the one thing that's holding me back? It's a guy that can go out there and put 350 and 4 touchdowns on the board when he needs to. And I don't think
Like
Daniel Jones is that guy.
Okay. What if Washington signed your backup quarterback? What if we traded for your backup quarterback? Would you
Cooper
be
Rush?
excited about that?
You can have Cooper Rush. I'm a big Dak Prescott guy. You can never get me off Dak Prescott right now. So, he did his job.
Right.
He's what am I trying to say?
Cooper Rush did a perfect example of what backup quarterbacks are supposed to do.
Correct.
He didn't
Come in and hold the fort down.
He didn't throw for a whole lot of yards and throw for a whole lot of touchdowns. He was a really good game manager.
Yeah.
And then the game on Sunday Night Football where he really needed him to shine as a backup, he folded and threw 3 picks. So I think he did what he needed to do to get us to our record. But Dak Prescott's our franchise.
He sounds like a Washington QB already, man. I just watched Rush 20, man.
Hey,
There you go.
Brent,
Yeah.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is Rivera's seat?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good question. Good question.
10.
Really?
It's 10.
You know, I
It's hard to
honestly,
gauge.
I'm gonna go. This is a hot take. This podcast is for strong takes, not for like mediocre ones. So I'm gonna say 0
Right.
of 10. No heat on Rivera's seat. 0.
Really?
Yeah. Imagine, all right, and there's some validity to this, right? Who the F wants that job? First off, but who wants to be hired?
Matt Rule
by Daniel
probably
Snyder?
does.
to be hired by Daniel, working for Daniel Snyder, like it's going to be somebody worse. I guess is my point. It's going to be somebody worse than what Rivera can provide. Rivera provides stability, right? And that's if everything stays pat. If it gets blown up, then that's too much turmoil. The ownership changing, people selling the franchise, like. I would highly doubt that they would can him, considering he's been the only thing keeping that franchise somewhat respectable and stable. If they had a train wreck at head coach, like somebody that wasn't an adult, can you imagine how much of a dumpster fire that team would be? It'd be ridiculous.
That's true.
You know,
That's true. It'd be like the net.
like the net. Exactly. Yes. No. No.
So
question. It'd be
whoever
like-
the Commanders hire next year, it's not going to be a Dan Snyder hire. It's going to be a Jason Wright hire, who's the president of the Commanders front office at the time.
Yeah,
From what I'm
we're-
told right now, or not, I'm not told anything. I'm not
Sources.
insider by
He's got
any
his sources.
I got sources that tell me that Jason Wright, let me make sure I got that name right. Yeah, Jason Wright is handling all the day-to-day operations of football, and Dan Snyder's hands off right now,
Yeah. His
Which is
wife
perfect.
the face.
which is perfect.
Right. Well, if you do believe that Dan Snyder's hands off, right, I got a timeshare in Florida. I got a couple things I could offload to. I got a timeshare. I got available on the ceiling. There's like a million things I could do right now. He's 100% running it, and I think that's the guy, the president. That's the guy that picked the Commanders, right? It wasn't he.
He helped pick, but was they
Was it
mainly went to like an online poll.
Should have been the Warhogs.
Should have been the Red Wolves, man. Red Wolves.
Yeah,
God,
the
that
Red
would've been
Wolves
awesome.
won the online poll, but they still chose Commanders.
That'd be awesome.
Because they already had that stuff made. All that merch was already made. They didn't care what the poll did. That was just a ruse.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with you there. Give it a crap, you know. I think it was because some middle school had Red Wolves, and that was like enough to like freak him out from litigation.
Like the domain.
Yeah.
Dan Snyder didn't want to pay. You know?
What a loser, man. You would have sold so much
right.
merch.
All right, Brent, I got a final question for you.
Okay.
If the Commanders don't make the playoffs this year, do they offload the roster going into next season and prepare to tank for the next 2 years to potentially get a quarterback next year? Their draft pick's going to be too high if they go 9-7. Too high to get a top guy. So you offload the roster and prepare for 2024, where you get guys like Caleb Williams coming out of the draft.
When's Manning coming out?
Like 2027.
All right, we'll lose in 27. We'll win until 2026, and then we'll lose that year, and then we'll get Manning, because Manning's don't miss, man. It's 100%. It's 100% success rate with Manning.
Oh.
He's not lying.
But seriously, I think they won't have to try hard to tank. I think at some point, if they make a decision to fire Ron Rivera, then the ball out of that franchise and they'll tank themselves. I mean, who would they really are, right? A lot of their first round picks.
T-Mac is signed. Scary Terry's signed.
Yeah, so and Chase Downs are the first two that come to mind, right? The rest of them are all the first round picks are on the D line, and they're kind of going to come up for contract extension or not within the next 2. Some of them are going to have to be moved on from. Some, like maybe one of them is going to be kept. There's not really much else to speak of outside of McLaurin. Quarterbacks, whatever. All the running backs are always on rookie contracts, so O-line's okay, I guess, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely better to throw up a couple like 2-15 seasons than continue the 9-8 thing. But have we ever had anybody really tank in the NFL NBA standards where they've loaded?
Yes. Indianapolis Colts for luck.
Yeah. That's the most prime example is the Colts.
The Jags kind of did it for Trevor Lawrence.
And Dan Orlovsky almost ruined it for the Colts.
Yeah. Didn't the Miami Dolphins do that one time, or did they not do that? I forget.
No,
which one was
they were caught tanking.
They were pretending they wanted to tank, and then somebody died out for tanking, and then Barrett.
Then they beat the Bengals. They beat the Bengals that year. That secured Joe Burrow, and then
and then Barrett missed out on his 7th franchise quarterback in the last 15 years when Tom Brady wasn't allowed to go there.
Yeah. That's the only thing I respect the owner for, is trying to get Tom Brady, I guess.
Yeah. Whoa, man, what a move that would have been, Tom Brady. Holy hell. Although you guys are doing good now, so it doesn't really.
Still had no weapons, and if we would have traded for that rapist, we wouldn't have got Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, or anyone else.
You're talking about the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback.
Yeah. A lot of picks.
Yeah, I was like, Tom Brady? I didn't know this. He got that going on too now? Shit, that's fucked up.
Yeah, Tom's got a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, boy.
Well, yeah. Brent, that's all I had for you tonight. Covered a lot of ground, dude. That was a lot of good information. Every time we get you on here, dude, we get a nice good convo going.
Yeah, man. That's a lot of fun.
But
okay, you guys are on to the next. I want to say hi, beautiful girlfriend Allison, who's tuning in. It's the first time she's watching.
Shout out
all of your.
Tell her to keep watching.
Yeah, tell her to keep watching. Barrett's about to go ballistic when we hop into trade news.
Okay, I'll keep watching too.
All right, appreciate you coming in, Brent.
See you guys.
Thank you, man.
Later, guys.
All right, Barrett.
Yes.
Let's hop into the NFL trade deadline updates. We had 10 trades. I got the most glorious trades on here, right? We didn't get all of them because some of them weren't really worth speaking of, but there were a couple that were top. notch. We're saving the best for last, so you can get wild and probably AFib on stream. But we'll start off with Zach Moss and Naheem. The Naheem Hines swap. Zach Moss to the Colts for a conditional 6, and Naheem Hines to the Bills. This is a huge upgrade at a running back room for the Bills. Getting Naheem Hines, who's a great weapon out of the backfield. Any objections there? Seth, what do you think? Is this good? Who do you think wins the trade? Zach Moss, up-and-coming star, potentially, and Naheem Hines, who kind of has a
This is 100% a win for Naheem. He got his way out of Indianapolis because he's kind of getting overshadowed by JT. JT's he's banged up. Naheem Hines is his opportunities, but now he goes to a team that, although Devin Singletary does a good job, Naheem Hines is, I would say, 5 times better out of the backfield receiving the ball. And when you're the Bills and you're throwing it 30-plus times a game with Josh Allen, I'm going to say he's going to be way more productive there, and he may even start fitting the time with Devin Singletary, in my opinion. Zach Moss goes back to being a backup because I think Deion Jackson will be the guy that's going to be above him on the depth chart still. So he's still at number 3. This is a win for Naheem Hines.
Easy. Barrett, quick thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is just Bills needed a more a bruiser of sorts. I mean, they have Singletary, they have James Cook. I mean, it was a weird trade, but yeah, it's a win for Hines. Like, goes from the Colts, who kind of stink, to the Bills. But yeah, like, how much playing time is he really going to get though? Like, I don't get it.
I think he'll get quite a bit. I think Hines will get quite a bit.
Is he better than has Singletary? Like,
he's better out of the backfield in terms of receiving. Like,
what?
Naheem Hines is probably like top notch receiving running back in the league.
Dude, look at Singletary's catches this year. He's like,
doesn't matter, dude. Naheem Hines is agile. He's shifty. Like, he's better on his feet, in my opinion. So,
all right.
Yeah, I like him. All right, we'll move on to the Calvin Ridley getting traded to the Jags. Now, this is a weird trade. I'll break it down for you. The Falcons trade Calvin Ridley for a 2023 5th and a 2024 4th. Now, that 4th is conditional, right? If he makes the roster, it's a 4th. If he reaches certain incentives, it's a 3rd. And if they reach a long-term contract extension, it now goes to a 2nd-round draft pick in 2024. Barrett, what are your thoughts here? The Jags taking a chance. I mean, worst case scenario, they lose a 5th and a 4th.
Am I there?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's great for the Jags. Listen, like, year 3, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs makes a big jump. Burrow, I mean, year 2 gets Chase. Chase is a manimal. He goes to Super Bowl. Look at what Tua is doing this year with Tyreek, man. Like, Calvin Ridley can be that jump for Trevor next year. You got to get him weapons. A.J. Brown to Jalen Hurts, year 3, again, balling out, 7-0. Like, so Calvin Ridley might be able to be that guy. I mean, Christian Kirk's not a scrub, but yeah, that's a great trade for the Jags, man. Like, that's good. I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess the Falcons still got Kyle Pitts and they got that other big rookie, right? But good for the Jags, even though, boy, Trevor Lawrence is 5-20. So he's got to show something.
Yeah, he's not up to this great start. Seth, what are your thoughts on this trade real quick?
Very out of left field, in my opinion. Why do the Jags need more receiving targets? I mean, you went out and paid Christian Kirk. You went out and got Marvin Jones Jr., who's not long-term, obviously. So you do kind of need it, but you're also paying receivers. I just looked up Calvin Ridley's contract. It's kind of ridiculous. If it's true, it says he's on a 4-year for $10 million total. What kind of contract is that? I thought it was way bigger than that. It may be cut down because of certain stipulations. I don't know. But at that price point, it makes sense for the Jags. I thought it was way more, so I didn't really look. But yeah, he's on contract till 2024. I think through the 2024 season. So this should elevate Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you have to go all in on him right here, right? That's what Bear was saying. You got to elevate his play. So if you believe that Trevor Lawrence, I mean, you got to win your Super Bowls at the back end of rookie contracts, right? Year 3, 4, and 5, where you can get them on the cheap. That's where your Super Bowl window is greatest as a team, in my opinion. So I think it's a pretty good trade for the Jags. I just didn't expect them to make a move. I thought they'd be more sellers than they were buyers, especially for a suspended player that can't play.
Well, yeah, who cares about this year? They stink anyway.
Yep. I agree. All right, and then we got. Hang on, sorry, I got it on a ticker here. Chase Claypool to the Bears. Now I thought the Bears were gonna just ride off in the sunset and die here, but apparently they're making moves to get Fields. I'll give Justin Fields some credit. He is playing a lot better in the past 3 weeks of the NFL Football League, National Football League. Excuse me. He's playing a lot better in the past 3 weeks. Getting him a target as big as Chase Claypool, 6'4", like 215, who runs a 4.3 and can jump out of the building. That's a big time target for him. And I think Chase Claypool is going to turn into their number one real quick over Mooney, who is a drop. That is a drop machine.
I'm not in on Claypool like other people. I think he's a little bit of a climb. I don't know if he has what it takes to be a number one. And I'm not going to give you some statistic or anything to back that up. Just from a personality standpoint, I don't know if he can hold that pressure. I still think Mooney's the guy in Chicago. That's who Justin Fields' boy is. So, yeah, Nick saying he's got butterfingers. I do think I heard where he does have a problem with some drops. So the whole Bears situation is just weird to me. Like, I think the Bears gave up too much for Claypool because Claypool was a second-round draft pick. You just second rounder back for it. I don't know.
You want to know who? You want to know who else went for a second rounder? DeAndre Hopkins, and Claypool's nowhere near DeAndre Hopkins level. So it's like, I think the Bears gave up way too much. I know they got stuff from Khalil Mack a little ways ago, and Roquan Smith, Robert Quinn. But like you said, Seth, like, what are they doing? What, they're just getting rid of all their defensive pieces to add like Chase Claypool? Like, I don't.
It's really weird. If you're going to help Justin Fields, I'd want to keep at least my best player there for. Granted, you're going to lose Roquan Smith in the offseason. Don't think. Well, I don't know if Vance's next slide is Roquan Smith, so we maybe.
It is.
Go ahead and skip
All
to
right.
Advance.
Well, we're sticking with the Bears. Roquan Smith gets traded to the Ravens for a second and fifth rounder.
Okay, yeah, Roquan Smith. I don't think he's a part of their future. He kind of wanted out of the Bears, was very upset that Robert Quinn got traded. Offload your defense, bring in new offense. Kind of weird system for the Bears. The offense was just heating up. You just needed the defense to start clamping. So what the hell are the Bears really up to? A lot of Bears fans are actually really happy that that Ryan Poles is doing a good job with the Bears. So I don't know. I mean, Bears fans seem happy with it. I question it as a fan on the outside. The bigger thing is I wonder why the Ravens traded for Roquan. I mean, we had to talk about it. I mean, he's a really good sideline to sideline linebacker, but is that really what you needed? I think you needed more of a wide receiver to help Lamar.
Well,
Yeah, I 100% agree, but it's like
it's the Ravens.
The wide receivers that were on the market were in division.
Yeah, it's the Ravens. If they see a defensive player, they're going to go get them. They've always been like that.
Yeah, Harbaugh's a defensive-minded coach, so that's just how they are.
Yeah, but let's look at people that didn't get traded. Is this a segment?
Yeah, sure.
No, I mean, did you already have this?
No.
Okay, so I mean, you got Jerry Jeudy, who was willing to be traded. The Broncos were open about putting him on the market. Brandon Cooks.
Asking price is too high for him.
Well, it's just his contract, really. That's the issue. I think people believe that Brandon Cooks is a good receiver. I think Brandon Cooks is a really good receiver. I mean, the dude gets 1,000 yards on the most random-ass teams there is.
Yeah.
Been traded around the league. I think he's just a pretty good star receiver. All I'm saying is there was guys that the Ravens could have went and got to help rather than Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay.
And I don't think they're talking about that enough. Like, I didn't hear anyone talk about why the Ravens didn't make a move, but maybe they feel they're good. I mean, they're what, 5-3, 4-4. I mean,
They're up there. They've been winning ball games, but
to be
this
fair,
is
their
the same-
defense has been cooked as of late. So
they've been injury riddled, but this is the same shit that the Ravens go through. The defense carried them through the regular season. They get to the playoffs, it's a little bit different
yeah,
against these good teams consistently, and they can't get it done. So it's like, why not get Lamar number one? I mean, you haven't even signed the dude, so it's like you're just you're messing around too much on you're thinking your defense is just going to carry you through everything when your star quarterback hasn't been paid and you're not surrounding you with anything. If I was Lamar, I'd honestly consider leaving the Baltimore Ravens after the season if it was possible.
for sure.
I mean, we're looking at 2 franchise tags priced at $28 million and then another one at $32 million if he goes back-to-back years. So it's like kind of wicked. The reason I think, and I told you, Seth, this, that the Ravens traded for Roquan Smith is because they want to replicate that Micah Parsons effect with Pat Queen. And I think Pat McQueen is fast and agile enough to be an edge rusher, but it's like I don't. Nobody's going to be Micah Parsons again. I think he's a generational talent. That dude is just insanely good already. But if there's anybody in the league that can replicate him, it's got to be Patrick Queen. He's the only one I can see doing it.
It's Patrick Queen, same draft, right?
Yes.
Was he a rookie last year?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and Patrick Queen is freakishly athletic. I remember coming out of the draft, he was what top 3 linebacker on the board, middle linebacker. I don't know. I view him more
right before the Saints could snag him.
That's right. So did Kenneth Murray.
Yep. They traded up.
I haven't seen Patrick Queen rush the passer, so I don't think that's something you can immediately do this season. I think that's an offseason build thing.
They show him doing a lot of run blitzing. So like as soon as the ball is snapped, he's shooting an A gap or a B gap, immediately blowing up the runs in the backfield. He's got like the most tackles for loss in the league right now in terms of run blitzing. And they're thinking they can transform that into pass rushing as well.
Which I think you're right. I think he's athletic enough to do it.
So we'll have to wait and see on that.
I don't think he did that in college, and Micah Parsons rushed the passer in college. So I think it's going to take a little time. But if that's where they're going, it's a good place to start.
It's not bad. I mean, give the kid a shot. Let him rush off the edge a couple games. If he does well, it's like, hey, you maybe found a person to replicate Micah Parsons. If he doesn't do good, you move him back to the inside and you do what the Steelers are doing with Devin Bush and Miles Jack. You play double linebacker set right in the middle. Same the way the Bills are doing it with Matt Milano and Edmonds. Just a double linebacker stack. That's where I'm at with it. All right, next big trade. This is the second biggest. Well, this is one of the top 2 biggest trades. We go TJ Hawkinson to the Vikings. This is a huge pickup for the Vikings as they lose Irv Smith. TJ Hawkinson to the Vikings for and they get a 2023 4th and a 2024 4th conditional, which will based on playing time. And then the Lions get a 2023 2nd and a 2024 4th. Dude, the Lions got swindled.
Yeah, no. This is a dumb. Let me say it again. Dumb trade by the Lions. First off, you didn't get nothing for him. Don't act like you did.
Nothing worth about a second rounder. It's like,
I mean, maybe if you wouldn't have gave up 2 other picks, it may have been close.
Gave up back-to-back.
One, you traded him interdivisional. You know TJ Hawkins is a good tight end. You traded him in the division. Bad move. It's always a bad move. There's a reason teams don't do it. Okay. But looking at it, I mean, still from the Lions side, you're trying to rebuild. You're trying to get your young core in there. Is TJ Hawkinson at like 25 years old not part of your plan?
I thought he would be.
He's young. Like, he's like a top 5 tight end in the league. Or
build that core around TJ on receiving
Makes no
ball.
sense.
Yeah, Bear, what do you think?
No, I mean, yeah, it just makes no sense to me. I like, what are they doing? I mean,
from what I heard from watching other shows, that this is a mercy killing, basically. They're like, just get out of Detroit, TJ. You're too damn good. We're wasting your time here. Let's get you out.
But they got talent. They got Swift, Jamal Williams. They got Amon-Ra's breaking out. Like, why trade? I just don't get it.
Jameson Williams, first-round draft pick. He'll be back.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to get draft capital to continue stacking that defense, because the offense is not the issue, right? Obviously, you need to upgrade quarterback, and then the rest of the offense is fine, right? So you get rid of TJ, who's a piece who's kind of been in and out of the lineup this year, but when he's been in, he's been phenomenal. When he's been out, you miss him a lot. You get a couple picks, 2 picks to draft defense and hopefully revamp that defense, because that defense is like bottom tier of the league right now.
I don't know. It's a move where I think they already have the draft capital and they're not that many pieces away. I think they have Motor City Dan Campbell is the guy to do the job, in my opinion. I don't think they're that far away. You need to get a better quarterback. As much as I think Goff is above average, he's still down there in that bottom tier. And the defense, and you got Aiden Hutchinson, you got a couple of young guys outside. It's just a bizarre move. Like, unless they think that they can get one from free agency that's a little bit more veteran, maybe help the young quarterback. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. All right, Barrett, let's roll into Miami, who was very active on the trade deadline. They get Bradley Chubb from the Denver Broncos, and they throw in they sprinkle in a little Jeff Wilson from Miami. Just a sprinkle, a nice piece, I think Jeff Wilson is. But honestly, Bradley Chubb, when healthy, and this year having a good year too, and he's healthy, it's like incredible pickup. And they're looking to work out a long-term deal.
It's the whole reason I'm here in the hospital. It wouldn't go down, dude. Worked up the whole time.
This is all because of the Laramie Tunsil trade that happened like 8 years ago.
I mean, listen, one photo changed the destiny of a team, and that Bong, because he was supposed to be a top 5 pick, a Bong photo released. Some people claimed Miami did it. So we get him like 10th, 11th, 12th, something like that. I think 12th. And then we trade that guy for this guy has turned into the Trey Lance package, which if you just want to go off easy, Trey Lance has turned into trading up for Jalen Waddle, our first Tyreek Hill, and now the last one, Bradley Chubb. And if our owner wasn't an idiot, we would have still had a first-round draft pick. But we don't have nothing now. This shows that the organization has 100% confidence in Tua because they have nothing. There's no way they could get any kind of new, quarterback or anything. So coming out, but this is great. Chubb, Ogba, Jalen Phillips, Melvin Ingram. It's and everyone's going to get better because of him. Defenses are going to play better. You don't need to blitz that much anymore. Helps the secondary out. Byron Jones is going to come back. Like, man, looking good. Bradley Chubb is if they want to compete, they needed someone that can take down a 4-man rush, take down Allen, Mahomes, and let the secondary kind of kick back, then have like a Jerome Baker or something on a spy. You're talking about Lamar, and we'll see it. Justin Fields, we'll see it on Sunday in Chicago. Bradley Chubb will play. Jeff Wilson will play. So we'll see it. Let's see what they do.
I'm gonna address a commenter real quick. Billy Alcorn says the Dolphins paid out the ass for Tyreek Hill. Now listen,
what
Chiefs fans would not be saying this if they weren't in a great situation that they're in. If the Chiefs were to suck this year, they'd be like, we got swindled for Tyreek. But since they're in a good situation, now they're like, oh, you guys overpaid for Tyreek. Like, come on, we're just fine without him. But it's like, without Tyreek, Tua's not having the season he's having. I mean, Barrett gave us a graphic earlier where he's got like the most passes over the middle of the field, over 10 yards. And that's because of Tyreek can burn you deep. Waddle can burn you deep. And now we're seeing just Gesicki that can kind of take you over the middle of the field a little bit now.
Tyreek is on pace to break 2,000 yards. He's almost 200 yards more than the second highest receiver. Jalen Waddle's fourth. The pair together have the most yards in the first 8 games. And this is with Tua missing 3 games. Like, it's wild. So, and with Tua in there, they're even better. I mean, they're auto starts in fantasy, both of them. It's just it's going good right now. Like, you just got to it really does go with Tua as long as he stays healthy.
Damn.
Seth, you need to crank down a Red Bull real quick.
Yeah, man, I get the yawn sitting in this chair, bro.
All right.
Goodness gracious.
Well, we got a lot to cover still, and we're going to kind of speed run through a little bit of it because we got to get to the college football playoffs. That's the big topic today. But we got a couple things that are weekly things on this show we got to get through. So, Barrett, please explain this
will be
B list that you pretty much copy and pasted from last week. No changes on the B list. This is the first time we've had no changes on the B list in a year.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be changes soon. Teams adding pieces, teams about to lose. I'm not saying the Vikings are pretenders by any means, but I think they're gonna take an L here shortly. Cowboys, their defense is great. I think the Eagles are gonna slip one. So Bills are looking like a train, even though their second half versus Green Bay kind of, cause for concern there. Green Bay stunk so bad, like it didn't matter. Like Bills, I don't even think Bills scored in the second half, and they threw 2 picks, and like they still won. So Chiefs still have Mahomes doing Mahomes stuff, but I don't think we'll be a copy and paste. I think one of these teams is going to lose next week, and we will see some different teams emerge. However, if they all win, I don't know what to do, guys. I mean, I don't know what to do. So.
Yeah. Eagles kind of looking like they're going to catch another easy ride this weekend. No one's going to be watching that game, obviously, because of the World Series going on. But easy ride for the Eagles this week.
The Cowboys and Vikings do play in 3 weeks.
Yeah, something's got to give there. And aren't you? I am glad. Aren't you glad that I did not put the New York Giants on this? Because they immediately lost. Those pretenders, they don't deserve. They'll never be on the list.
Yeah. He said, "Never, ever, ever. They will never, ever be."
They will never, ever. This is an accurate list. The only thing that I could, and I don't even really have a good argument for it, but it's like if you were to just solely look at it alone, maybe Dallas and Tennessee could flip-flop, but I would choose Dallas in a heartbeat right there in that situation. But it's like if you're an outsider looking in, you could maybe throw Tennessee in. But after they get beat down by Kansas City this weekend, they're right back out.
They're right back out.
That's set. That's only an outsider's view looking in. We're the insiders. That's an outsider view looking in.
I mean, Dallas is top 5 in like every power ranking right now, but I mean, if you're a straight stooge, you can take them out.
Dang. Let's take a gander at Dallas here. 17th in offense, 9th in defense.
Doing what you got to do to win games.
Hey, top 10 defense. That's all you need.
Top 10.
Let's take a look at Tennessee. 18th in offense, better, and 4th in defense, better.
Tennessee's also played the NFC or the AFC, their division, the worst division in football by far.
That is true.
Yeah, we had fucking 5 games with the backup.
That's true. That's why I said outsider looking in.
If Texans didn't get...
Luckily, we have the GOAT and the B-list maker here who understands football a little bit and chose to put Dallas in over.
Yeah.
So props to Barrett. On his deathbed out here, making sure he gets the B-list right.
You know what's wild to me is is I feel like the Cowboys are the last line of defense when it comes to stopping this Eagles easy fucking peasy lemon squeezy schedule they got going on to be undefeated. I mean, I think Dallas is the last stand in this motherfucker.
False, Billy.
No, I'm not gonna say the Eagles are like that Pittsburgh team that started 11-0, but they do have a pretty easy schedule.
They got one of the easiest schedules in the NFL left. I mean, they got to come to Dallas, and that's like it.
They're taking advantage of it, though. You want to win every game.
Billy, the Titans by far, or not the Titans, the Steelers by far have the hardest schedule in the NFL. Just so you know. That's where that's at. All right, we got NFL Pick'ems coming up. We'll roll through this pretty quick because we got to get to college football, man. That's where it's at this week. There's a lot to go on about college football. Thursday night football, the Philadelphia Eagles. Wow, I said that weird. The Eagles versus Texans. Philly favored 14 points in this contest. Barrett, do the Texans take down Philly, or are you going fly, Eagles, fly?
No, Eagles cover.
Okay. Seth, go on. Hey, I need you to take this over, Seth. Keep on going.
All right. So, Barrett, you think 14 – you think they can cover 14 points in Houston?
Houston stinks, dude.
Okay, I would take Houston plus the 14 right there going down into Texas. Seahawks travel to Arizona. Seahawks hot with Geno Smith. Allegedly, the Broncos try to call and trade Geno Smith straight across for Russell Wilson. I don't know how confirmed that is or not. But so I'm gonna bet it's a good matchup in my opinion. Battle of the Birds. I'm taking the Cards at home minus the 2. Kyler's getting I think he lost 0-1 since COD released, but I think he bounces back. What do you think?
This is do or die. So yeah, I'm with you. Cards with the points. They got to do something. They got to turn around at home, and it starts with beating the number 1 team in their division right now.
Hey, D-Hop coming back very big for Kyler.
For sure.
Advance traded him away. I called him a stooge for it because, I mean, he's going off.
Yep.
Okay, next game here. Chargers in Atlanta. Chargers favored minus the 3. What do you think about that one?
Chargers have been pretty inconsistent. So the Falcons.
No Keenan Allen. No Mike Williams.
I still think the Chargers get it done. I'm going to take the Chargers with the points.
Or J.C. Jackson. Cordell's coming back.
Yeah, I'll still take the Chargers with the 3.
Okay, I'll take the Falcons plus 3 right there. I think at home they have a little momentum off the blunder of DJ Moore. Well, actually, it's not the blunder of DJ Moore because he was rightfully off the playing field when he threw that helmet and got flagged for that. Pinheiro should lose his job though. Vance, go ahead, quick, Vance, because we're take your 2 picks on the Seahawks, Cardinals.
All right, Cardinals,
and then we're
Chargers.
Okay, there you go. We're stopped right there. We're right there.
Okay, easy. All right, we on the Miami game?
We're on the money.
All right, Barrett. I mean, come on.
Listen, this is going to be a Tua prove it game, and when I say prove it game, I mean prove it in the cold. Prove it against. Well, I was going to say decent defense, but just prove it like it's cold weather. It might be rainy. He was gashed in that Titans game last year, so I still think they win by 7. But this is another just small little test that just keep adding on to his resume here.
I like it. Seth, where you going?
I think Tua and the boys gashed the Bears. They get rid of their best player. Dallas hung 49 points on them.
That's
Good
true.
Lord Almighty. Tua's going to pop off for about 304 touchdowns right here. So if you got a Dolphin player, stick him in the lineup. Give me the Fins. No doubt about it.
I like it. Yeah, Fins, easy peasy roll through this game. It's not even going to be a contest. Chicago's going to get absolutely blown out. All right, Carolina versus the Bengals. Bengals favored 7 in this contest. Seth, what do you like here? This one's kind of tricky. Carolina is they're making moves, but they're not winning, but they're staying in them.
7 points, a whole touchdown. I'm still gonna say that I'm gonna oh, goodness gracious. Give me the Bengals. I'm gonna take the Bengals at home, even without Jamar Chase. They looked pretty dead versus the Browns. I think that was kind of just an adjustment game without their number one receiver. I think they get back on track this week.
Yep, I like that one. I think the Bengals get right back on track with T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Both have capabilities of being a number one wide receiver. I mean, they paid Tyler Boyd like number one wide receiver. T. Higgins is big, tall, fast. Easy pickup for me. I think Bengals win this one. Barrett, where you at?
Carolina's scrappy, but give me the Bengals.
I like it. All right, Green Bay at Detroit. This is a classic Green Bay turn it around game for them. They did start off slow against the Bills, but finished kind of strong. I think that offense will stay rolling into Detroit as they absolutely just roll through Detroit and win this game easily. Barrett, what do you think?
My God, could you imagine if the Lions do win? But history is on repeat, and I'm going to take the Packers.
Yep. Seth, what do you think?
Dang, I you know what? Give me the Lions at home. Give me the Lions at home. No further explanation.
All right, I'm going to get us started with the next pick that I need you to take back over, Seth. Colts at New England. Where are you going?
He should have said who he had. He should have said where he had.
What the hell is that? I'm going to take Patriots at home. No other choice. Sam Ehlinger starting to look pretty good. I just don't think they can get it done. I mean, Bill Belichick's got something up the sleeve.
Yeah, Bill Belichick versus young quarterbacks other than Tua, he devours. So give me the Pats.
What a dude, right? Next game, Buffalo rolls into the New York Jets. They've been looking pretty decent. Kind of got the brakes beat off of them last week by the Patriots. Not to look good showing. So Vance is back. You're supposed to make your pick before you leave, you clown. You didn't make it. So
yeah, sorry, I had to sprint upstairs. Kid fell. But
Jesus.
Yeah, I hear everything upstairs. All right.
We're on the Bills game, so go ahead and take your
Yeah,
Colts,
I like Patriots to win that game easy, and then the Jets cover this spread.
minus 13, huh?
It's a lot of points for a crazy good defense.
Barrett, what
I'll take the Bills with the points. I'm tired of the Jets fans, dude.
I think they kind of got a little exposed last week versus the crappy. Who did they play? Maybe it wasn't the Patriots. Was it the Patriots?
Yeah, the Jets played the Patriots. Yeah,
and they got beat down.
It was up and down.
Game. But Zach Wilson did not look great.
No, Zach Wilson threw like 3 picks.
Coming off a bye right here, Buffalo, right? So go ahead and give me.
Oh, Buffalo played Green Bay.
Wait, they came off a bye 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. They came off a bye against
Green Bay.
Doesn't matter. Give me the Bills minus 13.
I like it. All right, Minnesota versus the Commanders. We got Brent's take on the Commanders. He basically said they're dog water. So give me the Vikings to roll through this game. Easy peasy. Now, I think Taylor Heineke keeps it in it, but 3.5, I like the Vikings to win by a touchdown here. Barry, what do you think?
Give me the Commanders. The crowd's going to be psyched because of the whole rumors about selling the team. They're going to rally behind their players. Chase Young came back to practice. Give me the Commanders this one time.
Seth, what do you think?
I've been betting ODU, and ODU hasn't let me down. So Justin Jefferson hasn't had a TD since week 1. Maybe it gets a little wiry. Maybe Kirk Cousins throws for 400. I don't know. But I'm going to go with ODU plus the 3.5 at home in a celebration of Dan Snyder finally coming to his senses.
Dang. All right, we got the Las Vegas Raiders rolling into Duval. Call me a clown, dude, but I like Duval to take this game home.
Stinker of the week.
Yeah, give me Duval on the points. Barry, what do you think?
Give me the Raiders to bounce back from a shutout.
A shutout. Yeah, they did get shut out by the Saints. Oh gosh. I'm gonna take the Raiders. Devontae Adams only had one catch, breaking his multi-catch streak of like 80-something games. I think the game plan will be able to say get the ball in Devontae Adams' hands.
Yeah, you have to feed Devontae.
So I think the Raiders do win this game. Jacksonville's getting a little clowny for me after their hot start.
All right, and then the surprise teams: 3-5 Rams, 3-5 Buccaneers. Tampa Bay favored 3 in this contest. I think Tom Brady hits a 4-game loser, and then my prediction comes to fruition, and Tom Brady officially will announce his retirement after this week in the NFL when he goes on a 4-game skid, losing to the LA Rams. Seth, what are your thoughts?
I think the Rams stink.
They both stink.
This is kind of crazy to see all the downfall. These older quarterbacks kind of starting to lose a lot of games in the season. Most Tom Brady's ever been under 500 in his career, right?
Yes.
So if he loses this game, it will officially be the most. No, wait. Is 3 the most? 3 is the most currently. Like he hasn't been 3 under since like 2002.
Yeah,
So yes,
he's currently 2 under. He has to lose this one, and he's the most he's ever been under.
Cooper Kupp banged up. The Stafford stinks. Give me the Buccaneers at home.
I think Barrett, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Vance, he's not going to retire now that he's officially divorced. All the distractions are gone. He doesn't give a shit. He's about to put up 50 on the Rams. Give me the Bucks.
Sheesh. All right, we move on to the stinker. No, I'm just kidding. The Tennessee Titans versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, we're looking what here? Let me take a gander at the record. 5-2 versus 5-2. Kansas City favored 12.5 on Sunday Night Football in the Chiefs Kingdom. Barrett, where are you going?
Give me the Chiefs, dude.
Dang. Seth, what are your thoughts?
Sorry, Bill.
Tannehill be back?
No, Malik is starting, right?
That I'm not sure.
Oh gosh, can the Chiefs stop Derrick Henry?
Oh no, Tannehill might be back.
Give me the Titans to cover. I don't think they can get it done in Arrowhead, but I would definitely take the Titans to cover 12.5.
I 100% agree with that. I like Kansas City to win this game, but I like Tennessee to cover. 12.5 is a lot of points for a really good football team in Tennessee, especially if Tannehill comes back and he can kind of manage that game way better than Malik can at this point in time. I like 12.5. All right, moving on to Monday Night Football, where the New Orleans Saints love to post records and love to have absolutely highlight games versus the Baltimore Ravens, who are favored 3 in this contest. At the Dome too, which is I don't know, favorite 3 at the Dome on Monday night, knowing what the Saints do on Monday nights. I like New Orleans to win this game outright.
What did New Orleans do Monday night versus Miami last year?
That was a fluke. Who do we have at quarterback, Barrett?
Whoa, future Hall of Famer Ian Book, dude.
Who was sacked 8 times for like 56 yards that game?
God.
Yeah, Ian Book.
As much as I would love to see the Saints get a 2-game winning streak and beat the Ravens, my gut tells me the Ravens. Sorry, Vance.
Seth, where you going? You gonna let me down here? You picking the Saints?
I'm gonna take that bad man Lamar Jackson.
Wow.
I just have to. Roquan's in town. I think the Ravens defense comes up with the good stops they need to. Andy Dalton's probably going to go back to being a bad decision maker in prime time. Give me the Ravens.
All right, that concludes NFL Pick'ems. Let's move on to the highlight of the week, I think, which is we got the college football playoffs. We got the rankings finally. Here they are. I'll throw them off the screen for you. If they're hard to read, I do apologize. Tennessee at 1, Ohio State at 2, Georgia 3, Clemson 4, Michigan 5, Bama 6, TCU 7, Oregon 8, UC, I'm only reading the top 10, USC 9, and LSU 10. Barrett, what's wrong with these top 10 rankings? Who would you flop, and where are you moving them?
TCU's undefeated, aren't they?
Yes.
Why not, put TCU above Alabama, but I understand why. That's fine. Oregon's up there. That's crazy. Looking at the entirety of the list, I mean, Tennessee jumping. They jumped Georgia and Ohio State, didn't they?
Yep.
I mean, the win versus Alabama's, hey, that's impressive. So I don't have nothing wrong with it, honestly. Michigan's going to play Ohio State. I mean, this is all going to get very weird. So this is a good first rankings.
Yeah, we have Tennessee, Georgia this weekend.
Exactly. Yep.
Seth, what are your thoughts here on the top 10? Any changes?
Goodness gracious. When you go through here and you look, it's like, who deserves to be that high? I would say Tennessee has the most ranked wins in the SEC, so they belong up there. Ohio State, although they haven't really played anybody other than Penn State, probably belong up there. Georgia, defending national champions, in my opinion, they belong up there, even though they've been battle tested. Clemson's kind of a fraud in the top 4. I think they should go down. Michigan deserves to be above them. And the Big 12 team right there, huh? Where does TCU actually belong? I mean, you put up to 5. I don't know. Well, I know you guys had a hard thought about it, so let's hear it.
I like TCU at number 5, and if I like Clemson falling down to like 6 or 7, right? I think it should be Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, and then when that unfolds between Ohio State and Michigan, we'll finally shape it out there. But those are the top 4 best teams in college football right now. And then you go Bama, TCU, Clemson, if not go TCU over Bama right now, just because of the win-loss record. But I think if TCU lines up against Bama, Bama's going to give them everything they got. But I believe Clemson needs to fall here. They should not be a top 4 ranked team. You look at their ranked wins and their quality of schedule, right? Wake Forest by 6, right? Wake Forest was ranked at the time, right? They're still 22nd now, 21st here. We go down to NC State, who we thought was going to be a top 5 team in college football this year. Turns out not the case. They're sitting at 22. Then you go down to Syracuse, who was highly ranked at that time. They were like a top 10 team. They only beat them by 6. And then you go take a look at TCU, who has quality wins over OU at the time, who was high ranked, Kansas by 7, who made that early push in the college football season, OK State by 3, which was a healthy OK State at the time. Unhealthy OK State, obviously, we see down here at number 18. And then they took down Kansas State by 10. Those are 4 quality wins over Clemson's 3 okay wins. I'm taking TCU to move up ahead of Clemson all day this week. I think if they line up, I'd throw Clemson a spread of like 2.5, but I'm taking TCU to win that game.
See, that doesn't bother me as much as I think the LSU at 10 thing. I mean,
LSU's playing incredible football right now.
Yeah, they're a decent football team, but I think the committee holds Ole Miss in too much high regard. I mean, who has Ole Miss really beat? They got throttled by LSU, and they're right there below them. You know, when Ole Miss plays the big dogs in the SEC, they're going to get throttled, in my opinion. They will not win those games. Sorry, Lane Kiffin. But LSU, they beat Ole Miss. They got throttled by Tennessee at home. They're already a 2-loss team, and here they are sitting at 10. The committee's holding Ole Miss in way too high of a regard, and that's putting them where they're at.
SEC bias, dude. SEC bias.
SEC bias.
LSU,
and then the Dabo bias.
LSU,
They'll
lose 4 games this year. Obviously, this is the first ranking series. Like, what clowns? But, I mean, I guess if you're going to go off this, it's an okay list. It's definitely SEC bias, though. We all know 2 SEC teams in the playoffs, regardless of what happens.
Yep. So
yeah.
for me, Clemson being at 4, I mean, you look at DJ's stats. We're 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. If you go take a look at any other quarterback in that top 3 right there, blowing him out of the water. And if you go down to the bottom 3, just absolutely dominating him in the
Okay,
next
wait.
categories.
Speaking of 2 SEC teams, let's just if TCU goes undefeated,
They get it.
along with Clemson, Ohio State also, only one SEC team can get in then.
Yeah, it's whoever's going to win the SEC championship is going to get in.
Now, and that's the shitty thing, if one of those other non-SEC teams lose, they're pretty much done, unfortunately. So, but yeah, there is that SEC bias for sure.
Yep. TCU has to win out to get in, and it's no guarantee that they get in. But if they win out, take home a Big 12 championship over Kansas State or an OSU, or if Texas finds a way. Texas is only ranked, so Alabama's win over them looks like a quality win. That's the only reason why Texas is ranked.
True.
That's my opinion on that one. But we'll get rankings next week, I think, after the Tennessee-Georgia game and a couple other games we have this week, which will show you the top 5. That'll kind of shake up the rest of the list on how the NFL or how the college football playoffs are going to shape up. So we'll move on to that. We have the top 5 games of the week, rolling in with Texas at Kansas State. This has Big 12 title implications written all over it. Texas favored 2.5.
It's a Tennessee-Georgia game.
Yeah, that's separate graphic.
Oh, my bad.
Yep, separate graphic. It's the biggest game of the year so far, besides Tennessee, Alabama.
Yeah.
So we have top 6 games.
Okay.
But Texas at Kansas State. Seth, do you like Texas to roll into Kansas State and take home this victory as they're favored 2.5?
Not the way they looked this last week. I mean, hell, do you even play Adrian Martinez after putting 48 on Oklahoma State with ease like that?
I don't know.
I mean, Will Howard looked. One of my OSU buddies said Will Howard looked like the resurrection of young Joe Montana out there throwing the football. So I don't think Texas. No, I don't think Texas has a chance here. I don't know why they're favored -2.5. It's that fucking Texas bias. They're a 3-loss team. Give it up, okay? They stink. They're not as good as everybody thinks they deserve to be. So quit ranking them and quit. God, it's annoying, man. I mean, they should be like a 4 to 5 loss team. It's whatever. Kansas State better win this game by 20.
Wow.
Barrett, what do you think here? Kansas State taking this one?
I share Seth's sentiments, and I like Kansas State, dude.
Yeah, I like. Listen, I like Kansas State a lot, but Quinn Ewers is the main reason Texas is getting ranked.
Fair.
He just is. He is a phenomenal quarterback. There's no denying it. He is very, very good. And unfortunately, I think Kansas State does drop an L to Texas this week.
Wow.
Clown of the week here.
Yeah, Stooge
It's
taking the week.
unfortunate, but I think it happens. And
Did
then
you see how bad Quinn Ewers looked versus Oklahoma State?
Yeah, but
a good defense gives Quinn Ewers problems.
We'll see. If it happens again, I'm going to look like a clown. But I personally think Quinn Ewers is going to come out and shine this game and take this one home. And then we'll stay in the Big 12. We'll drop down here to the bottom right-hand corner. TCU, Texas Tech rolling into town. TCU favored 9.5. I think this is a wash for TCU. They're just gonna. This is a game for them to showcase their talents and Max Duggan to really pour on some stats to get them going. And then same with their running back Kendre Miller. This is a good game for him to get over 1,000 yards rushing. He currently sits at 851. This is a great game for him to get over that hump of 1,000. What do you think, Seth?
1,000 yards?
Yeah, he's got 851, so he needs 150 rushing.
Who?
Kendre Miller, the running back for TCU.
No, see, I didn't hear the name, and I was like, "Who's close to 1,000 yards on that roster?" But it's interesting. I don't see TCU struggling with Texas Tech. They should easily roll over them. Duggan's got it under control. I think TCU's got most of their Well, when do they play Texas?
Next week.
Oh, okay. This could be a trap game. You're looking ahead to like the other big rival in Texas. I think they no. Give me TCU minus the 9.5.
All right, Barrett, what do you think?
Yeah, give me TCU. They need to keep winning to have a shot at the playoff, dude.
Yep. Now I'll say the only reason this game's on here is because when I looked at the line, I thought TCU should have realistically been favored 22, and they're only favored. They're only favored 9.5. So that means someone in Vegas knows something we don't. So it's like this game had to be thrown up here. Just take a gander, really gauge the field where we're at here. Then we move over to Wake Forest, NC State, 21 versus 22. This is just going to be a good game to watch. It doesn't really hold a whole lot of implications except for who could move up in the ACC. But man, I like Wake Forest is favored 4.5 in this contest, and I like Wake Forest to take this one home as well. Seth, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Wake Forest should win them. I think Hartman had a bad game last week when they lost. I think they're going to go air raid on them. That's all Wake Forest really does is throw the ball. They throw the ball really well. They almost beat Clemson. I think Wake's going to win this game, even on the road. I mean, they're favored 4.5. I think they can win by 7.
Yep. Barrett, what are your thoughts?
In the history of me picking, I think I'm undefeated when I pick NC State. I don't know why. I have no stats to back it up, and I have no reason to really say it except they're on this graphic, and I'm picking NC State, so they'll win.
All right. I like it. All right, we'll move up to Clemson versus Notre Dame at Notre Dame. Clemson favored 4 in this contest. This is the biggest trap game Clemson is going to play all year. I like Notre Dame to take this victory home. Clemson finally drops one. They move out of the top 4 where they don't belong. And then they climb back. They find a way to climb back in, winning the ACC. That's where I'm at. But I also think whoever Clemson loses this game, they're still going to be in the ACC championship, and then they'll drop one in North Carolina. You watch.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
Jeez.
I'm calling it. Seth, what do you think?
Oh, man. Notre Dame's getting a little hot here, right?
Yeah, they're playing great football right now.
DJ had to get benched to win. Either this week or last week.
Last week.
I don't think the full faith is there. I don't think he's as great as a quarterback everybody says. Going into Notre Dame, they're going to be ready for Clemson. Give me Notre Dame. Fuck it. Give me Notre Dame. I like them.
Yeah, Notre Dame. To me, this was almost an easy pick. This is the trap game of the year for Clemson, right? If it wasn't going to be Wake Forest, it's going to be Clemson, or it's going to be Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame to take this one on. Barrett, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be a hot take, but I'm way off. Dude, I think Notre Dame bows up for their coach. I think this is a game or a job-saving game for that new head coach. I can just envision Notre Dame beating them, and I don't know Notre Dame's policies and stuff being the type of school they are, but hell, they may storm the field. So I don't know. But, yeah, we're all 3 on Notre Dame, dude. That's wild.
Yeah, I love it. All right, then we move into Alabama at LSU. This is in the Bayou in Baton Rouge. Alabama favored 13.5. LSU playing good football right now. Brian Kelly's got that team rolling right now. But this is a statement game for Alabama. To go into the swamp, or not the swamp, into the Bayou. The swamp is Florida, excuse me. To go into the Bayou. Yeah. To go into the Bayou and take down 10-ranked LSU, giving them another quality win on that season. This is an Alabama win. Now, 13.5 seems like a push to me. I like LSU to cover, but I like Alabama to win. Seth, what do you think?
Oh, gosh, man. This is tough. What Jalen Daniels did you get from LSU? The one that just absolutely shines, or the one that kind of just comes in there is average as can be? Big win over Ole Miss. Give me LSU to win.
Wow.
LSU to win.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, I was torn. I was right there, man. That's why
I think
LSU,
Jalen Daniels is a star.
he's very
Jaden,
good.
is it Jalen or I think it's Jaden Daniels.
Yeah,
Jaden Daniels is Kansas quarterback. Jaden Daniels is gonna have a game. He's gonna yeah. Give me LSU.
I like it. Barrett, where are you going?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. All right, we'll move on to the game of the week in college football. This game got its own separate graphic because it's such a big game in college football. We have number 1 Tennessee versus crazy graphic, huh? Number 1 Tennessee versus number 3 Georgia at 2:30 p.m. Crazy this game didn't catch a freaking primetime slot on ABC, but it is what it is. We got a 2:30 game. Georgia favored 8.5. It's at Georgia, so I think the spread is about right. Tennessee has to earn this victory, and I think Tennessee does it. I told a couple guys earlier this week, I think Tennessee, if you take their mask off, you're looking at the Joe Burrow LSU Tigers from a couple years ago.
Get out of here.
This is one of those special teams, and I think Tennessee, this is their year. They're going to roll through, take home a natty. It's going to be an incredible year for Hendon Hooker and the Bulls.
Okay.
Barrett, what do you think?
Well, not so fast. Whoops. I think Tennessee's Cinderella run comes to an end. I think Georgia has heard a lot of the talk, a lot of the hype, and just like me, who has zero, like not interest, but zero dog in this fight. Really, I think the dogs are barking in Georgia, and they heard them too. So they're hearing the chatter. Give me Georgia to put an end to Cinderella and Hendon Hooker and good old Heupel.
Dang.
Josh Heupel, probably the best offensive mind in the country right now.
Lincoln
Seth,
Riley.
Heupel's offense is a little more consistent.
I just wanted the troll.
Yeah, I mean Lincoln Riley's like right there. It's between him and Heupel who are the two best offensive minds in the country. It's just all there is to it. Because I mean, Josh Levy, who had Ole Miss at a top 2 offense the past 2 years, comes to OU and kind of shits a brick on us. Let's
True.
see where that comes next year when we get a different QB in there. If we get a different QB in there,
We better.
Seth, what are your thoughts here? Georgia, Tennessee.
Georgia is lucky that this game is at home. Because if this was in Knoxville, Tennessee would win by 14. But since it's in Georgia, they may only win by 3. I'm taking the Volunteers. I'm taking Hendon Hooker. And I'm taking Hyatt. They're going to have a game versus the Bulldogs. And that's all I got to say about it. Maybe not, because I'm going to say Hendon Hooker is a bad man. Go ahead and give the man his Heisman after he takes down number 3 Georgia.
Yep.
I mean, this sounds like me and Vance week 1 hyping up Oregon.
It does.
Okay. It's maybe the same result, but here we are again. You love I was going to say underdog, but they're ranked higher, but
Still
not
the underdog.
the favorite. Yeah, not the favorite. So I want Tennessee to win this game bad. I want them to win it bad.
Agreed. Tennessee needs this. Tennessee has to win this game to stay relevant for the college football playoffs. Because if they don't, I mean, we're getting Bama, Georgia, SEC championship most likely.
Roll Tide.
And then Tennessee's out. Even though I think they're top 4 best team in college football. That's all there is to it. All right. We got one more topic, just real quick. We're going to talk World Series. Philly up 2-1. Seth, if you had to pick somebody right now, say the World Series ended right now, who's taking home the MVP?
Well, it's kind of tricky with Houston being at 5-0 on the Phillies right now in game number 4.
Oh no!
Yep.
So, I mean, the Phillies are getting no-noed right now.
Oh my God.
How wicked is that?
9 Ks.
Yeah, Javier's got
for
9
Javier, yeah.
Ks. Unbelievable. Oh, goodness. Who would it be? Who would it be? Who would it be? It'll most likely, I would probably take. Damn it. I think Phillies win this series still. And he's going to go back and forth all the way to the end. So I'm still taking Bryce Harper. Whenever Bryce Harper hits a home run, they showed about 50 times. Anybody else, maybe a couple. He's the big name. He's the crowd getter. They chant MVP when he walks up to the plate. So if Bryce Harper cranks a couple more, he'll definitely, and the Phillies win, he'll definitely be the World Series MVP.
I like it. Barrett, if you had your choice, where are you going?
Yeah. Same. I think I saw a stat like 80% of his home runs so far in the playoffs has led to a lead. So he's if he just keeps banging them, I mean he's what the Yankees want Aaron Judge / Stan to be. Like he is hitting them when it matters. So I think all that. I know it's the World Series, but I think the previous games are kind of going to be in people's heads about it. I like Bryce, dude. Good for him if they win.
Yep.
Bryce.
If they ended right now, it would be Bryce. But I really want Philly to win. I really do. I do not want to see the Astros win. Do I think the Astros squeak it out? Unfortunately, I'm kind of moving that direction. But Bryce to take home MVP for the Phillies, Kyle Tucker for the Stros.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to go Kyle Tucker, but I think the Phillies win, so that'd be my pick.
I'm tore right now. I didn't know the game was 5-0, and they were just getting absolutely blown out by Javier. Like I was about to check the score when we were in the pod. I had no. That's unfortunate. It's 5-0. That kind of sways my vote a little bit because I was confident rolling in here, splitting it between Schwarber and Bryce, and now I'm just kind of like, man, if this goes 7. In Houston, right? 7's in Houston.
Yes,
well, that'll be
wicked. If it goes 7 in Houston, I think. I mean, if they lose tonight, it's for sure going 6, and that's going to end in Houston. So it's like if the series ends in Houston, like it's going to, I think Houston has a strong pool to win this. That depresses me to say that. God damn it.
well, at least Dusty Baker will get his World Series ring. That's the only reason I'd be happy for Houston. What? He wasn't there when they were cheating.
Who cares? He's the manager now.
Well,
Wicked. Big news. The LA Lakers get their first win the other night. Congratulations to the Lakers.
good job, Lakers. Hey, Thunder on a 4-game winning streak. SGA got MVP chance at the arena last night, which Valerie was supposed to be at. Just come on, Val.
Val didn't go?
She didn't go.
Val. You got to swing me them tickets.
Is
Is there a game tomorrow night? I'll be in Norman tomorrow. Is there a game tomorrow?
Check. I don't know.
There is at 7:30.
You're going to be in Norman tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be in. Oh, wait. Damn it.
Saturday, you clown.
Fook. I'll be in Norman Saturday.
What a jokester.
Is OU a day game?
Yeah, it's 2:30.
Oh.
Oh, well. All right, boys. That's all I got for you tonight. Show ran a little long, but Brent had some good insight on the Commander situation. So.
Do not start Justin Fields versus Miami's defense, or do. I don't know.
We'll see. All right, boys. I'll catch you on the next one.
Later.
Peace.
See ya. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for tuning in to Taking On Sports Podcast. Tonight was an absolutely packed show. If you want to be on the show, as always, just reach out to the page or to leave a comment in the in the comment section on the YouTube or the Facebook. We check both. We'll shoot you a message, or you shoot us a message. Let us know. Either way works. But you can catch us on Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. As always, thank you, and we'll catch you on the next ones. Happy football this weekend.